Yeah, I mean, just maybe not his best stuff in general, but that's kind of the way it went for us across the board. So it's just one of those days. Unfortunately, like to put on a better show in front of a big crowd today, but didn't happen. Velo is down a little bit today, especially after the second inning. But you know what? I don't know if that at bat did it to him. I think just, maybe not. It's a rare outing for him, put it that way.
Wonder how much you feel about this homestand like you did about the road trip. Could have been better. You guys finished with a winning record.
Yeah, I think we continue to do that. We'll be fine. I do think there's more, in there for us offensively. So we still haven't hit our stride as far as that goes. And, everything else we've been doing pretty well other than today. Just kind of one of those days that just kind of snowballed on us a little bit.
That a tough play for Kim, considering the type of shift that you guys were in, where the error was made?
Yeah, I think, it is, but I think he'll tell you he should hang on to it. I mean, we've been so good defensively that plays like that kind of stand out at this point. So no, I think they got it right.
No, there's not obviously a ready-made answer here, but how do you kind of get some of these guys in the offense going when you have 3 or 4 guys who are slumping?
Just keep working at it. A lot of guys do have track records, and you have to rely on that. A lot of the veteran guys, a lot of the youngsters have some, a lot of ability in them. So we just keep going. If we continue to win games, we've won some series. We had a sweep, and do it without some offense. I think those are the silver lining type things you look for. But at some point in time, we'll have to get it going. We'll just keep working to do it.
Was today maybe an example of kind of how fine the margins are? If you don't get the pitching, if you don't get the defense, what can kind of...
Yeah, it was just all around. We haven't played a sloppy game like that really across the board this year. So it doesn't feel good, but you just move on. We have an off day, and then we move on to a long road trip.
Bob, is there... Are you seeing anything collectively, plate approach, anything? You talked about guys with offensive track records, but... pretty big chunk of your lineup right now that's not producing some of those run-scoring situations. Are you seeing anything?
Well, our situational bats, other than today, have been pretty good, and that's why we do score some runs. But, I try to look at it from a positive angle that we're still winning some games without the offense, and I really believe it's going to come. I think it's going to take a couple games in a row, good games in a row. We've had 2 pretty good offensive games throughout our start here, but it has to be more consistent, and hopefully it gets contagious if we get a couple of good games in a row.
How do you plan to use Campusano, and what could he potentially bring to your offense?
Probably do, a little bit what Luke was doing. Do some pinch hitting and DHing some against lefties. I'll probably use Matt Beatty a little bit more so against righties, so probably a little bit of a back and forth with those 2 matchups.
Hey, Bob, last Sunday you mentioned how much you really liked your first military appreciation. Yeah. Great moment before the game today with Sean and his brother on your mound, on the mound. Thoughts on that and what you saw there?
Yeah, that was really cool. I mean, that tugs at your heart a little bit, especially with, how well it's supported here. And then he gets to see his brother on the field for the first time. First time I've met him, too, but not too far away in Camp Pendleton. And, it's going to be a nice resource for him, Sean, to have family around.
Yeah, really could just sum it up as okay. Nothing really felt great, but just went out there with what I had. The walks are really what hurt the most. The home run to Freddie, trying to go fastball away there, and just like that over the middle, and then to Bellinger. That was pretty much cooked it too. So two pretty bad pitches there. Amazing. I think it's the second time he's seen me throw live since I got drafted. So, for that to be out here and have that moment with him was really cool. And I know my mom loved that too. So,
how did that all come about? As far as
the
fact that he stayed with him.
We kind of talked about it, and then I told him about it, and he was definitely on board. And I'm glad we could arrange it and make that possible.
Sean, I know it's tough to process now, but can you think long-term what that moment you shared with your brother will mean to you years out? I mean, that's a pretty unique and special thing. Can you speak to that, what that may mean years down the road?
Yeah. The more I think about it and, people talk about it, those really happen often. One that, you have a brother that's in the big leagues, and then one that's in the military, and then for that naval base to be out here was and this organization. It's very special, and and my mom just texted her, and I know she was crying, but it's a beautiful moment like that, and I know we'll definitely be talking about that for a while.
Was that the first time you got to watch it live? Just
second, I think it was last year, because he's been on Pendleton for 2 years now, 2 or 3 years, so it has been that long.